Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the afternoon session of Day 5 of Induction Programme 2021. I am Roshni Kar, editor at Technology Students Gymkhana, and I extend a warm welcome to all of you for being present with us here today. On behalf of everyone, I extend a warm welcome to our chief guest, Dr. Harish Hande, who is an energy engineering graduate from IIT Kharagpur, as well as a distinguished alumnus of the institute. Although our chief guest doesn't require an introduction, I would like to give the students a glance into his numerous achievements. Dr. Hande was named the Social Entrepreneur of the Year 2007 by the Squab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship and the Nand and Jeet Khemka Foundation. In 2008, he was chosen by Business Today as one of the 21 young leaders for India's 21st century. Later, in June 2008, India Today named him as one of the 50 pioneers of change in India. He was elected an Ashoka Fellow in 2008. In 2011, he was awarded the Magsaysay Award for his passionate and pragmatic efforts to put solar power technology in the hands of the poor through a social enterprise that brings customized, affordable, and sustainable electricity to India's vast rural population, encouraging the poor to become asset creators. With this, I would kindly request Sir to join us online and share a few words with our students. Over to you, Sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for inviting me. Just that you see a dark screen, just because I just came to the US for a week, and so if you see darkness here, it's just because it's about early morning, and I thought this was the best time to address the newcomers into IIT Kharagpur. I know it's an exciting time for all of you who are entering and who are already there in IIT Kharagpur. Mind you, this is your best 4 years of your life. And for me, yes, it was completely life-changing in many ways. IIT Kharagpur, especially staying in Nehru Hall for 4 years was still, I mean, a lot of us, I would say 90% of my batchmates would say those 4 years were transformational, and nothing else came better after or before that. So to all the to incomers, sometimes before coming, you're pretty daunted in a sense. What do you expect? Treat it as your primary home, I would say, when you come, because this is where you'll meet your lifelong friends. Number one, hostel life is something that you should imbibe, enjoy, the mess food. These are things that I would say before you come in, you're nervous, exactly, though I would say this will be your chance to prove your talents that you didn't know that you had. Something that I never knew I could speak publicly. IIT Kharagpur is what taught me how to speak in public forums. I never thought I would run for elections and ever. So interestingly, I don't know, I had wonderful hostel mates. On one hand, I had Arvind Kejriwal, who was with me for 3 years. And on the other side, on the junior side, when I was the hall president of Nehru, I had to deal with some young kids who then became head of Google and also dean of IIM and home secretary of Manipur. So these are the characters that you would meet, then you would not realize what they become as trajectory goes. And everybody, whether it's Sundar Pichai, whether it is Saurav from IIM, or whether Arun, IIT Kharagpur is the greatest equalizer for us. The inclusivity of thinking, the poor and the rich, the most intelligent and not so good in doing in classes, we're all equal in many ways. So IIT Kharagpur for me was was a place where the, the academic pressure, though it was there, which should be there, but I tell all the youngsters, don't be, don't come to IIT Kharagpur with the same mentality of getting grades. Be in the campus, and to study is to, one is the campus life, and if I come to the academic life, get your fundamentals right. I think a lot of IITians remain as one exam wonders, that they have cleared the IIT JE, and after that, yes, that's it. And they ride the rest of their lives on that one exam, that, oh, I'm an IITian. You're an IITian is not because you cleared that one exam. I think a true IITian, and especially if you're from IIT Kharagpur, what change would you do? Because you have been sent there on behalf of the taxpayers' money. The poor in the world, in the country, for example, who buy salt, sugar, pay taxes on sales tax. And that funds most of our education in IIT Kharagpur. So poor are our stakeholders. And so when you graduate, what do you do for the poor? And I'm not telling you whether it's an Indian poor or a Sri Lankan poor or anywhere else. Get your fundamentals right. It's not about, I see a lot of my colleagues right now, batchmates, have achieved a lot personally. Yes, but that's not what you went to Kharagpur for. It's not for the personal achievement of earning X amount of money. Is what did you study that goes towards a contribution of innovating, incubating something that transforms society. So when you are studying, whether you're studying thermodynamics in the second year, whether you're studying a certain course of mechanical engineering in the third, or electrical engineering, you're going to a lab, you're studying metallurgy, you're studying mining, anything, are you getting your fundamentals right that will lead your next, see, because these 4 years are the first 4 years of your rest of your life, that both professional, academic, and the contribution that you would like to do personally to the family, personally, and to society in large, in whatever country or whatever place that you are in. But do not get stuck into the rut of that once I get into IIT, my LinkedIn profile becomes different, that I graduate from IIT Kharagpur. And I'm so worried about my GPAs. What is my GPA? Who cares whether your GPA is 8.9 or 9.96 later on, after a couple of years, after graduating? What I would care personally is, what are you doing with that thermodynamics class that you had in second year? I care about what did you do in mechanical engineering lab that actually contributes to your development in the future. The moment a lot of engineers graduate and become MBAs and or anything else, you've wasted a seat in IIT Kharagpur. And to my young colleagues who are entering it, utilize these 4 years in a manner that you not only enjoy personal life in the campus, but also academically. Don't put a lot of pressure to excel in terms of what happens in the end semester exam, but excel what happens during the semester. How do you imbibe each class in a manner that you're able to understand the fundamentals of each subject? And that's what will remain with you throughout your life. Frankly speaking, I don't know where my report card from IIT Kharagpur is. I have no idea. I do not have an idea about my degree certificate also, frankly speaking. Nor do I have an idea of my master's and PhD certificates, which I know where I have. I took all the 3 and burned them one day in a stove, saying that degrees don't matter. What actually matters is, with that education, am I able to do something that moves the needle I mean, in my case was in a sense that with along with my other colleagues in the organization, are we able to, in any small manner, transform the poverty and reduce the poverty by X%? And how can that education? So to my young students who are coming in, it was, for me, why I still say transformational. I was an extremely shy student up to class 12. Very, very shy. I failed, my journey in academics was not so great. I failed all my classes in class 5, class 6, class 7. I got conditional promotion into 5, 6, and 7. And I don't know, in 9th, a couple of my other classmates got pity on me and said, no, you got to study a bit, and inspired me to study and leading to getting into IIT somehow. And then taking a course called energy engineering, which was very, very new at that point of time. I was a third or fourth batch, and we were 7 of us. When you enter the class, we were only 7 in the class in energy engineering. And so you can't even bunk classes, right? The professors would absolutely know who was missing. I mean, and I had a great bunch of classmates. Avtar Singh, who's an authority of refrigeration in the world. Pawan Vesh, who started Daksh, and now heads Uber in India. And they were the Shavik Gangopadhyay, the good literary writer, and these were my classmates, means my lab mates, right? And incredible to have those 3 or 4 as my lab mates in the same electrical lab that you would go through, where we would call it the chamber of torture for all of us when you fear going to the lab because you don't know what the professor would ask you. And 9 out of 10 times I was very, very sure that I couldn't answer the questions because I was more interested at the 4:30 when I had to go for hockey practice for Nehru Hall. And so, but somehow, yes, I mean, graduated with a decent GPA, and the biggest thing that I take off was management that I learned in IIT Kharagpur when stood for GSEC Sports in Nehru, and then became Hall President of Nehru Hall, of managing students who come from various backgrounds, cultures, religions, thought process, was the most exciting part of my 4 years, I would say. Other than in one exam, I still remember beating the gold medalist of at that point of time, Ranjit Gharpure, in thermodynamics. I guess my high point was beating him in, and then say once you beat him, uske baad, who cares क्या GPA मिलता है, 6 मिला या 8 मिला या 9 मिला, एक बार तो gold medalist को तो beat किया ना. So the question was, enjoy, boss, live your life in IIT campus, academically, professionally, academically and personally, because it gives you an opportunity. It has you can't get a better place in terms of showing off your technical talents, showing off your sporting talents, showing your extracurricular talents. You have, I don't know whether they still call it the TDS, the Technology Dramatic Society, which was there in our time, both in terms of Hindi, Bengali, and English. You had the debate societies where Kejri was part of and that's when I would say Bhuri Saikat Sarkar was the person who was instrumental in teaching Kejriwal how to debate, and in Hindi, and this was way back in 87, 88, and now you see Kejri debating on TV thanks to Bhuri or Saikat's teachings in 89, 88, 89. So there are a lot of transformational changes who, like Sundar Pichai, who ran off because he couldn't handle hostel life at that point of time, and saying that, and later on went on to fall in love with a batchmate and married, one of the very few successful romances in IIT Kharagpur of those times, I would say. So For me, again, you enter. I came from Rourkela city, where quite of us took the train at 2:30 in the afternoon and landed for the first time at 7:30 in IIT Kharagpur. We were picked up at around 8 o'clock. As you know, in Kharagpur, only two things exist: the campus and the second longest platform in the world right now. So when you came out of the railway station, the first thing the rickshaw fellows will ask you is which hall, because nothing else existed in IIT Kharagpur. So yes, you took to Nehru Hall, nervously entering the Nehru Hall. You're a bunch of seniors of your physical appearance, which then turned out to be humor, enter, and after that, I have never looked back, whether it was entering the hockey team of Nehru Hall and football team in the first year to becoming the hall president and in the final year, while able to balance the practices of all the sports to managing the hostel, and then academically was when I learned how to be multitasking, managing both professors on one side and students on the other side. Was also part of the Disciplinary Committee, which is, when you come in, you'll realize used to be one of the most feared committees in terms of whenever people would cheat or rag, and this was the committee that would actually take place. And so I was part of it, which gave me an enormous experience in that huge campus of 1,600 acres, that which today has built me that foundations of what you call it as whether how to deal with people in the corporate world, in rural areas of India, Sri Lanka, Dominican Republic, Tanzania, or to even deal with pressures, that I can handle 20, 30, 40 times the pressure because I was taught by both seniors and by juniors in those 4 years. Lastly, I would say, when you're entering, just don't be one exam wonders. That you graduated IIT Kharagpur, then you're not going to take the full potential. And one thing that I would repent, that with so much facilities, you had the labs, you had the best computers, you had the best hostel life, you had all the facilities. Make sure that you utilize, rather than just being, and quite a few of my batchmates, I would say, not quite a few, but at least a small percentage, who would waste their time just sitting in the hostel. And with the advent, which we did not have at that point of time, was the internet. Don't spend too much of time on computers. Don't spend too much of time in your room. Then you're actually wasting your 4 years. Explore each part of the campus. Explore each of the other labs, whether they're part of your department. If you're a mechanical engineer, go out and take some courses in electrical engineer. If you're an electrical engineer, take some courses in the economics and humanities department. If you are a computer science, make sure take some classes in architectural engineering. Cross-cut, because that's only 4 years when you can explore what the other engineering students are doing. Because when you're graduating, personally, as somebody who graduated many years ago and part of an organization whom we take people, I'm not interested in a mechanical engineer. I'm not interested in an electrical engineer. I am interested in a solution provider. I am interested in a person who can solve problems. I am interested in a person who's been extremely varied in taking, he or she taking courses across. Yes, when I'm walking down the path, and if a water is leaking, I know five ways to solve how the water is leaking. I see 10 potholes. I know 5 ways how to make sure better roads are built. If something is going wrong in society, I know 10 other ways of how to solve it. That should be the confidence. And that confidence only comes in if you are able to willing to try out different coursework, different opportunities that are offered, rather than just concentrating. And the biggest mistake you do is just concentrating on that last week of exams. the semester exams, because what's going to your GPA? You know, 70 to 80% of KGPIs or anybody who leave their job it within the first year they join. So what's the point of talking about what job will you get in the 4 years? And my thing is, don't concentrate on the grades. Grades will come if you're actually attending classes and enjoying the classes. The grades will happen, number one. Job will happen to you. That's not your end goal. The end goal of 4 years is, what do I do with my 4 years of life in Kharagpur? Enjoy, don't put a lot of pressure. And if you really have issues in IIT Kharagpur, write to me anytime. And I ask Aditri, etc., to just share my cell phone number, email. I have no two qualms about it. If people bug me at 1 o'clock in the night, 2 o'clock in the night, but I do want all of you to enjoy. And if anybody is lost saying that, "Boss, kya karna chahiye?" Because I've gone through those moments. I've been brutal, and I would say you ask people like Sundar, or they'll still fear somewhat couple of days of what I did in terms of, I told them in very stern terms, and that's to bring them back online. You will enjoy. And I was the meekest student, frankly speaking, when I entered IIT Kharagpur. The meekest. My high school friends would never imagine that I could publicly speak ever in life. This is a transformational journey you're enjoying. I'm jealous of all of you that you're entering IIT Kharagpur right now. I wish I went back to 1986 and started my life all over again in those 4 years. Congratulations. And Aditri, please share my numbers and email to. And thanks for doing this. I mean, and hopefully, we'll have much more interactions, and I'll be able to visit. It's been a long time. It's been a long time that I haven't come to Kharagpur. I think last was 2013 or 14. I would have come during the 25 years of celebration. Hopefully, it's been a long time. So actually, leave it to you to take it forward. And hopefully people have not slept. So.
Yes, sir. We have actually collected some questions.
Sure.
We'll be asking you shortly. Since I just coordinated with the people who are on campus, and they'll be asking you the questions shortly.
Sure.
Thank you for your words, sir. Your stories were fascinating and your insights noteworthy. Now we'll move on to the questions.
Hello, sir. First question
Yes.
is, during your tenures as Hall General Secretary and Hall President of Nehru Hall, how did you manage your acades?
How did I manage my academics? One thing, I was there, I think second, third, fourth year, I had a record of not missing a single class. And that for me was extremely critical, that I would not miss a single class or a lab, because those 1 hour of class and the concentration in the class of listening to professors more than studying anything, in terms of, you had any doubts, clear it off. So 3 o'clock when we had the classes, a lot of people, don't miss out that those 1 hour of each class was good enough, as good as 3 hours of study in the hostel. So one is that. So I made sure that between 8 and 5 in the evening, my academics did not go for a toss in terms of in the campus, and in the what you call it as in the audio in the main campus. And the hostel life was after, I would say, 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and then 10 to 2 was again academic, and then and mornings, I would say 6 to 7 was hockey practice. So you could definitely balance academic, sports, everything else, provided you are able to define and be focused in what you're trying to do.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, what was the most challenging situation in your whole KGP life?
The most challenging, I would say, on the on the fun side, I would say, there were, because I was part of the disciplinary committee, where you had 6 professors and 2 students as part of the committee. So you're supposed to save your students sometimes, but sometimes the students have done something that you could not save them. Like one was if somebody had cheated in exam, and then you had to give a punishment because you had to set standards and norms that this is. So you're in a dilemma that he's a fellow student, and you are part of the punishment. And that for me in the final year, one was a case of cheating. Second was, I would say, most fun in a not so, no longer a fun. I mean, that time it was not fun when 40 boys and girls. That time the relationship between the boys and girls were very different to what it is today. I took the gymkhana and I had a dance party in the night. And quite a few boys and girls got upset because that dance party happened in Gymkhana for various reasons. So, and there was a disciplinary committee that actually sat to how did the girls leave the hostel at 10 o'clock in the night was the disciplinary committee's questions. And for me, morally, if the boys could move out at 10 o'clock, why couldn't the girls get out? And that for me was the question. And so I became on the other side of the professors, saying that it was not equal. There were no equal rights at the point of time. But and the fun was the students were really curious to know which side that I would take in the disciplinary committee, whether the student side or the professors side. And professors were very, हमारा culture खराब हो गया ये dance party के कारण and all that. So you had so I would say, sir, क्या dance party? Sir, आप dance नहीं करते थे क्या आपने? So the question was I think that, and the other, I think from, and especially, I don't know, during those periods of time, you had this ragging or orientation. And so while, I don't know how the hostels are, I mean, at point of time, there were 51st years, 52nd years, 53rd years, and 54th years in every hostel. So when you're a hall president, you're responsible that the 51st years are not ragged at all, or they do not are traumatized in the first 21 days, which no longer happens. I think those were some of my challenging times, I would say. But overall, I think I would like those challenges because that is what helped me prepare future in life.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, who was your ideal at that time and why?
Who was the ideal at that point of time? See, I think very fact is, I would say, I think the canteen guys were my ideal boss in terms of how they used to balance every quirks of every student per se. Some of the rickshaw fellows with whom I had great friendship with on the campus per se, and I was some of the seniors who balanced both academic and professional lives, and later on went to do good for society were some of those ideals. But overall, I would say every student for me was a fantastic friend, and I would admire people who, like Pavan Vaish, who graduated from energy engineering, that he was a silver medalist as well as engineering topper, and IIT Kharagpur hockey captain who went on to get gold for IIT Kharagpur, that they could balance, and while getting 6 tenths out of 8 semesters. So a 10-pointer, as they could call it. So they were, I would say, how do you balance being hockey captain, silver medalist, and a 10-pointer? And also, being an energy engineer, he was my lab mate. That he got better grades than computer science guys was also a thrill in class, right? So
Thank you, sir. So the next question is, as you mentioned about the Kejriwal and Sundar Pichai, how was your interaction with them?
How would my interaction? I mean, one was a senior and one was a kid. So, so I would say one as an equal, because KG was a 1 year senior to me, and so he was an equal in many ways, right? So we debated, we fought, and we the whole hostile politics was together, though he never stood for elections. So, but we had classes together. So Kejri was Kejri at point of time. Sundar was a junior who was a young, extremely nervous student, just like anybody who's now entering. Very, very nervous, half the time crying, and I hope he doesn't listen to my statements on YouTube. He'll kill me otherwise. So, but somebody who I still remember, sir, I'm a tam bram and I don't know how to deal with it. I said, boss, tu aaja tera dekh lunga, ho jayega sab theek. So I think 4 years of Kharagpur also strengthened people like Sundar in many ways. So yes, I mean, but exactly, the 4 years. So with Kejri, I was for 3 years and Sundar 1 year. But those 4 years gives you bonding for the last 40 years that anybody picks up your phone the moment you call. So that's the great part of IIT Kharagpur campus life, is that you make friends forever. And also it's a mark in a sense that if you say that you're from Nehru or from Azad or Patel, and I was there during that time, your mark of trust increases, saying that हाँ boss, a connection Kharagpur ka hai. So make sure that, and you will, I mean, I don't have to make sure of that, you will create some of your best partnerships and friendships for your life in these 4 years.
Sir, thank you so much, sir. The next question is, what is your best experienced idea that you learnt from your life?
I think that I won't say best experienced idea, but I would somewhat say that I went to IIT Kharagpur primarily because 150 to 200 million Indians did not write the exam. Had they written the exam, I would not have gone into IIT Kharagpur, frankly speaking. So I think whether the rickshaw fellows or whether the canteen fellows, whether it was later on in life, the farmers, each of that youngster, if given a chance, could have gone into IIT. So we sometimes unnecessarily pride ourselves saying that mera IIT mein rank number 1, 10, 20,000, whatever. I think it's like a running race where we are all at 50 meters and the rest of the world is at minus 50 and we say we won the race. I think the biggest lesson for me is when I'm traveling in rural Sri Lanka, India, or any parts of the developing world, the poorer kids were much smarter. And if they had got a chance to write the exam, they would have been an IIT and not me. And so then now that I'm in the campus, or I went to IIT Kharagpur, how do I utilize my education in a manner that every poor kid in the world, let's start India, has the equal right to be in IIT campus? And that, I think, is the biggest lesson that I have learned from the field, is we sometimes take it for granted, the degree and the exam that we have graduated. Sometimes we become very arrogant, that egoistic, that I have graduated from IIT. I think that humbleness is, you've come to IIT because many others could not. You have got a seat, like whether it's metallurgy, whether it is mining or computer science. That seat is because many others could not take the seat because they could not afford to write the exam. So your responsibility increases multifold when you graduate. And that's the lesson I've learned from the field. Like, it's not about yourself. And IIT seat is so precious, is what you do with it. And that's why one regrets that I have, and I tell my colleagues and campusites, is that don't waste that seat, because that somebody else could have done better job had that person be in your seat. So prove that you are doing the best job out of that seat subsidy that you're taking from the taxpayers' money.
Thank you, sir. Sir, how was your experience at Elimination as a fresher and as a senior?
Oh, well, as for I don't know how many of the first years would know what, or people who are just coming in would know what illumination is. Yes, I am. You've gone through the illumination, one cycle of illumination. I think one thing I could really brag about is that I used to climb very well, and so I used to be in the top part of the illumination, in those 2 bamboo or 3 bamboo sticks that I would climb to the top of it. And I would practically remain there for hours, and was given always I would say the worst lighting parts of the illumination just before the judges would come. And the one thing that I loved doing that, irrespective whether I was a second year, third year, or a final year, even as a Hall P, I would be on the at the climbing spot of the. It was not like was third year abhi juniors karenge, because the bonding that happened during the illumination, right from the paintings to the setting up the what you call it as the bamboo structures, to putting oil in the diyas, was a challenge and fun. So my 4 days completely went, and by the time you finish, it's 4:30, 5 o'clock, you take a shower and go to class. So managing time, I think, was the best. And though I don't think so Nehru ever won the first prize in my 4 years, though we had very talented people, but Azad and Patel were much, much, much better. I still remember we had, in the final year, we thought we had done the best illumination that we could have ever done. But Azad did a creative thing, that they did Taj Mahal, and they had actually put water in front of their hostel, and the whole Taj Mahal was reflected on the water, and that flowed a lot of us, and then I still remember. So yes, illumination is all 4 years that you, and that's why I told to the youngsters that even graduated in 90, so that's 31 years ago. I vividly remember most of the days in IIT Kharagpur, of every incident, of every, as you said, illumination contest, and who lost and who won, and I can still remember the hockey results between Patel and Nehru, is something very precious, and that you hold on to in wonderful times.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, if you come back to campus, what will be your first place to visit again?
Harry's, I don't know whether it still exists. That's very next to the Tata Stadium, where you had the gulab jamuns and the black jamuns. Chedi's, I heard the owner of the Chedi's has died, which I recently. Definitely Nehru, C206 is where I stayed for most of my life, and the OAT, I don't know what it's called, the open air theater, where a lot of, yes, these are definitely the few places that I would visit, and the hockey stadium, obviously.
Thank you, sir. Sir, regarding hockey, how was your journey in the sports?
Journey was, I think I got into the hockey team and for football team in the first year, and we built up, and then finally the treasure was defeating RK in the final year for the gold medal of hockey. So that was the 4 years of hockey journey. And the worst part was I was the Nehru Hall goalkeeper, and so you're always remembered for the goals that you left, and not for the saves that you did. And we never won a game in our 4 years, and so I was always blamed for 4 years for being a pathetic goalkeeper. So I would now tell to my friends, so if I was so pathetic, then why did you have me in the first place? And they would say there was no better person in Nehru, unfortunately. So I still remember losing 6-0 to RK, which was after that. I mean, I don't know whether the word Kisti still exists in IIT. Kisti is like when the opposite hostel people are behind you in the goal post. And when I was a goalkeeper in the first year, when I was a fresher, that was I would still remember the worst time when you are taunted from behind the goalkeeper, and that strengthens you in many ways. But by the time you're final year, your skin is so thick that you're able to handle all that. But as a first year, yes. So journey of thickness of the skin is what I would measure in sports.
Thank you so much, sir. So, what is one mistake that you did in your life and you don't want us to repeat to improve ourselves?
I would say the biggest mistake I would do is not using the full facilities in IIT Kharagpur. And I still think I would have still had time to take multiple courses in architectural department and department of economics, because those 4 years, frankly speaking, is where your brain is at the fresh at your peak, where you're able to absorb a lot of academic at that point of time. And what we do is we sometimes waste our time in thinking of something else in those 4 years. And I would say the biggest mistake, don't do what I did, is stick to energy. Yes, there was a cross-cultural courses. Only the final year I realized when I took a course in architecture on colors that I would tell to all youngsters, make sure, take a subject that you don't like. Like, for example, if you're a mechanical student, you don't like economics. But mind you, you need to know economics in any sphere. Go and take the economics class, even if you hate it the most, because that's when you absorb the most. And I think the biggest mistake I did was not taking classes in other departments.
Thank you, sir. Sir, what, according to you, is the description of a perfect engineer who graduates from IIT?
Perfect engineer is somebody who stops calling himself engineer and stop calling himself, I'm a mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, or somebody who steps up and say, boss, what's your problem? I'll solve it. So a perfect engineer who comes out and says, I'll try, and celebrates his, her, or her failures, and is able to articulate that I tried it, but I failed. Somebody who is able to articulate the failures better than the successes is a true solver of problems. And so that, see, if I tell you that I succeeded, it means nothing to many people. Oh, boss, if I actually analyzed my failure and explained to each one of you, how did I fail making a car or a certain instrument or a certain journey? That helps you decide that while it was Harish's failure, now he has prevented me from spending the same amount of time that I would have to come up with the same failure. I can actually go 10 steps ahead. And a true engineer is a person who is able to articulate and explain those to others, that others can actually do better than him and her. So it's always rewarding when you did something and you explained it and somebody does better than you. That's your reward as a true engineer and a true solver. Somebody needs to do better than you because you were able to explain it. Never about, and the worst thing that an engineer or anybody can do, and especially from IIT Kharagpur, I will make sure that nobody does better than me. That's the worst thing. And that's the lowest point of your life. And if anybody does that, say, boss, I would not like to share because इसमें से ज़्यादा grade मिल जाएगा. Those are the type of students I would take them out and give them a hearing, definitely a hearing.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, what was your first job after graduating and how was that experience?
I did not take a job. So the question was, I took I got a scholarship to come to the US, and then I went back to India and then started Selco. So I just a week, because I was getting bored at home, I went to Tata Steel before flying to the US. But Selco has been my first and hopefully my last job. And so experience has been to start alone way back in 94. 94 in the rural areas of Karnataka. And so I've had no experience of working anywhere else other than Selco. But I think I also tell all of the youngsters, as soon as you graduate, you have very less responsibility, and hopefully many of you are not married, and you have no family responsibilities. Travel at least for 6-8 months. Travel the unreserved train from Calcutta to Delhi. Know what the problems are in the unreserved. Don't buy a ticket. Don't pamper yourself. Know what India is. If you have a chance to go to Africa or other countries, do it. Travel, and know. And so, I would start off as a blank slate. बॉस ठीक है बॉस 4 साल मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग या कंप्यूटर साइंस कर लिए हैं. That's a degree that I have. That's okay. But I know nothing. Let me travel. And then decide what shall I do with my life. That's what you should do. Rather than boss same herd mentality, a GRE, job, and kisko kitna mila, 14 lakhs, 24 lakhs, 48 lakhs. Boss kya karega? I mean, that's why boss, ठीक है 48 lakhs mila. So should I tali maru? Oh, he's earning so much, $150 million. So yeah, great. What have you done with your degree, boss? Tell me one innovation, one solution that you came up which actually led to a transformation of 10 lives somewhere in the world. 20 lives. We are in IIT Kharagpur. 10 kilometers radius mein jaake dekho, electricity hai nahi. There's no clean drinking water. Kids are not educated. What have we done in 60 years of IIT Kharagpur? Sip. So I think what I want each one of you to do is that when you graduate, and after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, every 5 years mark, did I do something that changed the needle? Did I innovate? Did I incubate? Did I inspire? Except making money, 2 garage, gaadi, everything else that I got. That's a complete waste of your degree. Absolutely waste. I mean, the easiest thing a lot of the students could do is join McKinsey and PricewaterhouseCoopers. That's the easiest thing, right? IIT Kharagpur आया थोड़ा challenging करो यार. Report and 40 lakhs तुमको मिला या 2 crore मिला, but that anybody can do.
Thank you so much, sir. That's really great words that you spoke. And lastly, we would like to have a best advice from you to the newcomers, and also a roadmap to provide them what an entrepreneur should be like.
Get your fundamentals right. I mean, just enjoy, just chill. Boss, तेरे को B मिला, C मिला, D मिला. Don't concentrate. Most of us have not seen our marks card after graduating a year, boss. So, the worst thing that we do, no, जब लड़की घर पे आती है, बोलता मेरे को 96 मिला मैथ्स में, the first question we ask, वो 4 मार्क कहाँ चला गया? अरे तेरा cousin को इतना मिला, अरे उसको मिला, अरे boss. I mean, I can't use some words here on YouTube, but forget all that. Forget all that. Enjoy your 4 years in a manner that you get your fundamentals. It's like, what I mean by fundamentals is like, okay, boss, the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. Why is it 2 pi r? Where did that 2 pi r come from? And that should be your fundamentals. Mechanical engineering bridge build karte hain. ठीक है, Pythagoras theorem का fundamentals में जाओ. Civil engineering का fundamentals में जाओ. Even if it takes 2 days. I mean, my wingmate Rudolf Bovius, who was an aeronautical engineer, he would go to an exam, final exam, depending on how many, I mean, every 6 chapters, I suppose, final exam mein. Until he masters chapter 1, he will never go to chapter 2. Until he masters chapter. So by the time the final exam comes, he has mastered 2 chapters. He will go with only 2 chapters, and he would get the lowest grades because but master of chapter 1 and 2. Now in Air India, he's one of the most brilliant maintenance engineers. He knows in and out of aircrafts. So whenever an aircraft comes with snags, the first thing they would go is Rudolf Govies. Caught is fundamental. He would know every plane in and out because fundamentals में गया था. Right? उस समय तो मजाक करता है, अरे रूडी गाली, अरे क्या प्रोफेसर कौन सा यार बॉस. Half the time he would get C, D. A guy who got most his life in 5.96 में graduate किया. But brilliant, like aeronautical engineer. Get your fundamentals and enjoy. Don't stress yourself. I mean, you really stressed out कि कुछ हो रहा नहीं है, प्रोफेसर ने कुछ बोल दिया या कोई लड़का या लड़की कुछ बोल दिया, बस call me up. And I have take my number and call me up, and then or come and stay with me in Bangalore. Just like Sundar had to sleep in my room for 10 days because something had happened to him. So ठीक है, तो आ जाओ Bangalore. Come to my house. Come to my office. Work in my office for 10 days. So just enjoy.
Thank you so much for your words, sir. It was our privilege that you were present with us here today and enlightened the students. All of us are hopeful that even we get to experience these moments and experience an enriching KGP life just as you did. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you're audible, could you please confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, Roshni.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. So I guess we can.
Hello.
Nikita, can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, Chanchal,
I
are
can
you
hear
okay?
you. Nidham, you're not.
Thank
Nidham, everybody can hear us, right?
you. Yes.
Yes.
Sir,
No.
you're audible.
Yeah. So can we go for live?
Any sound coming?
Yeah,
I
you
think
are
I.
audible to us.
Okay. No any echo from my side, right?
For our next segment of this session, I would kindly request the secretaries of the Technology Committee, Technology Students Gymkhana, to take over the session. Over to you guys.
Yeah. A very good afternoon to all the freshers 2021-22. We welcome you. This is Nikita Kodipaka, Secretary Knowledge Cup.
Hello everyone. This is Nidham Kumar Jha, Secretary Innovation Cup.
Hello everyone. This is Gaurav Chinchal, Secretary Strategy Cup. We welcome you all to the Indian Institute of Technology Kharagpur. As a student of technical institution, the one thing that connects us all is our passion for technology. The moment you say you are an IITian, the first thing that will strike someone's mind is that you are a tech-savvy guy, ever ready with a screwdriver in pocket to explore the world of machines and microcontrollers. So let's see what our DIY lab offers to you.
Hello everyone. Right now I'm standing in front of the Ramanujam complex. So let me take you inside the building and show you where the do-it-yourself lab is. So this is a place where you're going to come in again and again. So to your left over here, this is the Takshila building. It's a really nice looking building. So this particular building houses the computer information center where you're going to get your accounts and where all the softwares are housed. The DIY lab is there in the block that you can see towards your left right now, which is in the center of the screen. So the building is called JC Bose Annex. Let's get inside the building. The first two floors in the building are taken up by the Center for Computational and Data Sciences. So, well, this is the supercomputing center over here. So, inside this particular room over here is the Param supercomputer. The lab is there on the second floor. So, let me walk you up there. Hi, I'm right now in front of the DIY lab. So let me take you inside and give you a tour of the lab. Let's get in. Let's go inside and see what all is there. while you're working, you would have access to a bunch of tools: hot air gun, glue gun, a bunch of screwdriver sets, tapes, soldering stations, weighing balances. Basically, whatever are normally needed whenever you are doing some hands-on activity. So next, let me show you the instrumentation and the 3D printing lab. So this over here is the instrumentation and the 3D printing area. We have 10 members of fuse deposition modeling based 3D printers. So apart from the 3D printers, this place also has got some electronics test benches. So each test bench consists of a oscilloscope. Okay, so you can see the oscilloscope over here. We have some precision weighing balance, analog digital workstation, DC power supply unit. So all of these combined makes a workstation, and you can set up some circuits. You can play around with sensors and actuators in this place. So this over here is the conference place. So whenever you're working on your projects, you may want to sit together with your teammates and brainstorm. So this is the place you would come to for that particular purpose. So there is a smart TV as well as a board. About 15 to 20 students can easily be accommodated in this place. So this is the store. We have a whole bunch of consumables and instruments over here. We have also created some experiment kits. So as you can see over here, so we have created a bunch of kits. We'll be making more of this, and then you can go ahead and issue one of these and do your experiments.
Yeah, moving to our next place, that is M. Farooqui Innovation Center.
Chanchal is sorry to interrupt, but audio is not like we cannot hear the audio.
Yeah, sorry, Nikita. I can start sharing again.
Yeah.
So, can you please confirm that the audio is it coming right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. So this was a glance at few of the technological facilities available in our campus. There is more to it. But for now, let's get to know some of the technology societies waiting to offer you a plethora of events. So let's start with the B club. That's the business club.
Hi, we at Business Club IIT Kharagpur congratulate you for making it to this premier institute. Business Club was founded in 2009 and is the oldest business-related society on campus. We are a team of 70 plus members operating in three wings: finance, analytics, and strategy. We focus on bridging the gap between business and technology and are responsible for promoting the same culture at IIT Kharagpur.
We impart knowledge in these three wings, not just to the members of our club, but to the students of IIT KGP at large. We organize events throughout the year, like open house sessions. Our flagship being the Indian Case Challenge, which is Asia's largest case study competition. The upcoming presentation will provide you a more holistic view of our work. I hope you enjoy it.
There is so much more to Business Club apart from knowledge. We are exposed to a wide variety of challenges. The club regularly creates knowledge-based content for its social media pages. Working on such content has taught me how to present my ideas in a catchy and yet a very comprehensive manner. We participate in events of national and international significance where we are guided by seniors at every stage. The club has not only boosted my confidence but also enabled me to explore wider horizons.
When I heard about Business Club, all I expected was knowledge in three wings. But apart from all things business, we have a wonderful badge bonding. For me, Business Club has been one of the comforting prospects in these online semesters.
So yeah, moving to our next society, that is Technology Robotics Society. Let's have a feel of some robotics in a technical institution.
Hello everyone, my name is Akshay Manoj Bhaskaran and I'm a head at Technology Robotics Society.
I'm Vatsalya and I'm a head at Technology Robotics Society.
And on behalf of the same, I'd like to welcome you all to IIT.
Technology Robotics Society was founded in 2001 and is an official society under the Technology Students of Khana. Our main agenda is to spread the culture of robotics across India.
We, TRS, as a Techno Management Society, we provide an opportunity to work on robotics and other related fields. I would like to introduce some of the events that are conducted by us as well. So the first event is actually CRADE. Kharagpur Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Group, or CRADE, it's open to the entire student community, and it's also the perfect introduction to the world of artificial intelligence. The next event we have is RoboSoccer, and as the name suggests, you get to build your own manual robots and compete against each other in a football competition.
If you have an idea to build a new robot, then Technology Robotics Society's Makerspace Lab can help your dreams turn into reality. So we've had several interesting projects throughout these years, and here is a video showcasing the projects that had been taken up this.
My name is Gauri Patki and I am a second year student of Aerospace Engineering Department. The event that I was benefited from was great. It helped me learn the basics of Arduino and image processing.
I got to learn about computer vision and control laws and gained a lot of experience.
It was a very good learning experience. I learned a lot through my peers, and the seniors also helped a lot.
Now, despite the ongoing pandemic, we have continued to work and have been able to carry out the above mentioned events quite successfully. So we do look forward to your arrival, and we are all set to welcome you with all enthusiasm in a hopefully offline semester.
So next society which we have is Aerial Robotics Kharagpur, shortly pronounced as ARK. Remember guys, there's a quiz after this society introduction video.
ARC was founded in January 2015. Our main mission is to create state-of-the-art drones which are capable of autonomous flight, localization in GPS-disabled environments, and interacting and tracking mobile ground units and other drones. I started off in a small hostel room with a simple quadcopter chassis. It has been a long journey and there have been many drones so far, namely Quad Zero, Albatross, Butterfly, Canary, Dove, Eagle, Falcon, Griffin, Hedwig, Ibis, Jackal, Kia, Lark, Merlin and Nighthawk.
So ARC has a proven record and has been recognized by several international and national competitions and committees. In fact, ARC has produced several state-of-the-art papers and has incorporated upcoming technologies into their drones. You can see an image of the people who were involved in the IRC competition and the people who were involved in the IMAP competition.
Yep, so now it's time for a short quiz break. So let's have some interesting questions. A link is provided to you in the chat box and also So you can also scan the QR code here or enter the code hashtag TechKGP1 on slido.com.
Nikita, we can wait here so that they can scan the QR code.
Yeah, definitely. We'll wait here and see, or like waiting for the poll. Yeah, okay. The reason behind the Starbucks tables being round. They make us feel less lonely. They promote a feeling of social hierarchy. Because the earth is round, they are comfortable. What do you think is the answer? Let's wait for more 30 seconds or so. Okay, now, yeah. Let's see the answer and go for the next question. Yeah, so the answer is they make us feel less lonely. The reason behind the Starbucks tables being round is they make us feel less lonely. Here is a short description of that. So without any late, let's go to the next question. The poll will be live. Yeah. This is something which is related to robotics. Astromech droids, also referred to as astro droids, are a type of maintenance droids that served as automated mechanics. R2D2, it's nicknamed as R2, is an astromech droid from which famous movie? Star Wars, Prometheus, Interstellar. Okay.
Some freshers would be like, oh, where is the Avengers? The so-called fans, Avenger fans.
Yeah. Okay, so 80% of the people think it's Star Wars, and let's see the answer. Yeah, it is Star Wars. The R2D2 robot is an astromech droid, the type of robot that is usually served as a mechanic and backup computer for small spaceships in the Star Wars films. Yeah. So yeah, that was great having both the majority answers. And next, let's go to the next question. This is about drones. As we all know, it's a remote controlled unmanned aerial vehicle. They're very fascinating. Why do you think was the first ever drone built? Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, so here is a flight.
Equally distributed. Is a balloon carrier, the precursor to the aircraft carrier, for journalism and film, for distributing chocolates on Christmas Eve. Well, this question has 57% change. That's the first option. Okay. We'll look at the answer. That is not for the for distributing chocolates at the Christmas Eve. That is for used as a balloon carrier. That is used in the war. First time in like 1849. So yeah, the first round of the questions. Let's get to this round after going through some of the facilities and facilities at Tech KGP.
So yeah, let's move to the team card, the research group, which is totally. Yeah, Nidhu?
The need for speed cannot be fulfilled without technology. Therefore, let's take a glance on Team Card, whose engines have been roaring since 2008 and filling us all with adrenaline rush.
TeamCart is the official Formula student team of IIT Kharagpur. We are a group of students who love to design, manufacture, and test Formula student style prototype race cars. Founded in 2008 by a few passionate students and faculty members, TeamCart is sponsored by the SRIC and guided by the Mechanical Engineering Department of IIT Kharagpur. What began as a rather small team soon grew into the largest student project of IIT Kharagpur. Here's a video showcasing the last prototype race car we made for the Formula Bharat competition in 2020.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Formula Bharat is an Indian Formula student-style engineering design competition in which students from colleges and universities all over India compete with a life-size Formula-style vehicle in areas of design, overall cost, marketability, and dynamic performance. Here is a video showcasing the competition and the various events that are a part of it. If you love the adrenaline rush and the smell of burning gasoline, we are the ones you should be around.
Now let's have a look on the Technology Transfers Group, a students' initiative which believes in the potential of the institute as the premier research and development center.
Hello, my name is Avan Mishra and I'm currently a core team head at Technology Transfer Group IIT Kharagpur. Technology Transfer Group, or TTG as we call it, is the student arm of the sponsored research and industrial consultancy of IIT Kharagpur. Our primary objective is to present IIT Kharagpur as a research consultant in front of the world. To fulfill this objective, we primarily work on two aspects. The first one is to foster research culture in the campus, even at the undergraduate level. And the second one is to bridge the gap between academia and industries. With these objectives in mind, we organize several events throughout the year, some of which are Tech Talk, INDAC, Annual Research Meet, IPR Workshop, among others. We are also involved in organizing TEDx IIT Kharagpur every year.
Hello, I am the current Design and Media Head at Technology Transfer Group IIT Kharagpur. Here in TTG, we have four different teams: Core, Design, Media and Web. In Design team, we try to get involved as many students as we can using social media handles such as Facebook and Instagram. We use festival posters made by Photoshop, and we also try to create PPTs for guest speakers for different events such as Tech Talk and TEDx. In media team, we try to enhance the videos given by guests and professors, and we try to publicize them using social media handles such as Facebook and Instagram.
I'm Manish. I'm the current web team head at TTG, and I'll give you a brief overview of what the web team at TTG does. So the web team at TTG mainly maintains and updates the relevant websites related to TTG, such as our own web page, the TEDx web page, and a few other upcoming projects such as the TTG research blog and a few others.
In core team, we used to mail different speakers and finding the best eminent speakers for our events. We also make a good interaction between professors and students.
With these objectives in mind, we organize several events throughout the year, some of which are Tech Talk, INDAC, Annual Research Meet, IPR Workshop, among others. We are also involved in organizing TEDx IIT Kharagpur every year.
Hello, I am the current Design and Media Head at Technology Transfer Group IIT Kharagpur. Here in TTG, we have four different teams: Core, Design, Media and Web.
Hi, I'm Lavesh. Being a part of the technology transfer group was the best decision for me, as I got to see a different side of IIT Kharagpur in the field of research apart from core and non-core placements, as I'm a big fan of TEDx talk.
So again, it was very informative. I have also watched the previous editions of TEDx IIT Kharagpur on YouTube too.
Also in the past, Technology Transfer Group conducted events that connect academia with the industries. So, Technology Transfer Group conducts events that is not only useful for undergraduates but also for the postgraduate students. So, cheers to the Technology Transfer Group team that make these events happen.
Identifying themselves as ardent technocrats, the Kharagpur RoboSoccer Students Group, or the KRSSG, has worked to build autonomous soccer playing robots and have taken part in various competitions. Let's have a look at them.
Yeah, so it's time for another quick quiz question. Hope you have received the link in the chat
Yeah,
box.
freshers, ready with your scanner.
Scan it and quiz it.
To scan
Scanned.
a poll. The aerodynamics has been a significant part of racing cars of the airflow around the car to ensure maximum performance. Which of the following determines the efficiency of the flow as it travels downstream across the rest of the car? Front wing, rear wing, diffuser. I don't know, I'm just a car, not cycle. Okay, okay.
That's a
Just a
tough one.
poll.
So there are less number of coordinate cycles.
Just a poll. Yeah, so rear wing. Any polls waiting? Let's see the answer. Yo. Is the front wing, guys. Front wing remains the most important aero device in the car. It is the first thing that the air hits and therefore determines the efficiency of the flow as it travels downstream across the rest of the car. So yeah, this is about the short break quiz. Next, we shall go to the societies again.
So this time the song.
Graphics bring life into technology. It raises our goosebumps and provides a greater user experience. In the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, Computer Graphics Society has pioneered in the same field. So let us have a look at it.
I guess audio was not shared earlier.
research and development team, we work with some of the more experimental projects. So we look for new ideas, new techniques, new technologies, and we try to learn them and try to see where we can apply them.
The Game Development Team of Computer Graphics Society is in charge of turning the idea, design, and concepts into a playable game for users. We are what bridges the gap between an idea and a final product.
So the graphic design team of CGS mainly works on the design aspects of the project, that is 2D art or 3D models used in the development of the game, poster designs, website background design, and 3D models, 3D short films, and infographics. So basically, it is the duty of the design team to make any work meaningful and beautiful and give life to our game.
Web development team at CGS, as the name suggests, works on the development and maintenance of our website. Our team has launched the CGS website and will continue to make new features and update old ones.
We have another exciting game portfolio at the Computer Graphics Society, which creates and publishes blogs and YouTube videos on topics relating game development tutorials and graphic modeling, known as the Creative Content Team, where we bring out creativity and encourage ideas. The team consists of all the members combined to get input from all the different teams of CGS put together.
Hi, I'm Samit Gupta. I'm with CGS IIT KGP. I am in the design team. So what CGS has done very nicely for me is basically helping me meet like-minded people. So people who are interested in making games and such. And now games are no longer just a very visually appealing form of entertainment to me. It's also like I know how much work goes into a video game, and it just leads to appreciating it more. And also the fact that this basically has allowed me to make games, which is basically my passion, one of my passions, and now I can getting some experience in that, so I can use this experience in my future portfolio.
Hello everyone, my name is Anmol Agarwal and I'm a junior game developer at Computer Graphics Society since my first semester. So gaming is always like a passion for me. I loved playing them, but I always wondered how they are made. Then I came to know about this society, and this society helped me in every single way possible. They teach me how to make games, how to make models, and publish them to earn some money. Also went to the finals of an inter IIT competition through this society. So like if I didn't know about the society, I would have wasted my first year like doing nothing, just watching lectures at home. So I'm glad I joined this society, and it is really helpful for my future game development career. So thank you.
Yeah, so here we come to the end of the introduction to the society. So at last, let's have one more small round of quiz. The same link as the previous one. Yep, so scan again.
It's the same process, freshers.
But
Scan and answer.
this time you're having a word cloud. Enter your answers in the box. Let's see. Let's see your answers. A NASA's project that will test whether spacecraft that can be built using smartphones to launch the lowest cost satellites ever flown in space. Give your answers in the form of word. What do you think is that project name? Take KGP2. Come on, guys. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Phone set.
Mine.
Phone sat is leading. So satellite phone, Robo 2.0, phone star. So many interesting names, but NASA has taken one
Finally,
name.
we have a Carnot cycle among us.
Oh, yeah. Is there a Carnot cycle here? Yeah, I'm just a Carnot. Fine. Okay, great. Let's go. Let's see the answer. Yeah, that is phone set. That is phone set. PhoneSat design makes extensive use of commercial off-the-shelf components, including a smartphone. Smartphones offer a wealth of capabilities needed for satellite systems, such as fast processors, versatile operating systems, multiple miniature sensors, high-resolution cameras, GPS receivers, and several radios. That is PhoneSat. Yeah, you are right. The next question. When I was young, I loved watching RoboCop matches and had a thought that this is a modern concept. But last year, an interesting fact flashed in front of my eyes. Let me ask you a question. When do you think the concept of humanoid robots came in picture? By Leonardo da Vinci in the early 2000s when dinosaurs got extinct. Okay, so Leonardo da Vinci gets the prize, I think. %4 of people, dinosaurs got extinct. So the answer is yeah, you were right, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo's robot or Leonardo's mechanical knight was a humanoid automaton designed and possibly constructed by Leonardo da Vinci around the year 1495. That's the demonstration. Yeah. So we are done with the quiz now. It's hard, but yeah, last but not the least, a big thank you to all the freshers for attending the event. Many interesting events are awaiting you, and we all welcome you to the family of KCP. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Welcome,
everyone.
welcome to IIT Kharagpur. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for the PPT, guys. Next on our agenda, we have some cultural events planned for you at 6 p.m. Don't miss out on those.